Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to
Finish Big.
Big. Well,
No. Mark's Chronology Corner.
Well, we're doing something a little bit different. This is the first in a occasional series because it's going to take a long time.
Look how sensible you sound when we're doing something that's all about your Chronology Corner. And he's holding the microphone and talking in a very profound way. So please continue. Please continue.
So this is the ultimate audio timeline.
Your audio
My
timeline.
audio timeline.
Yes,
okay,
right.
So we all have to do a marathon, don't we? We all have to do a binge and try and fit the stories in order. And you might do that with the TV series, and then you might want to fit your big finishes in there. Some people do it with the books as well.
Oh, this isn't just Big Finish.
Some people, no, so this is not just Big Finish. So,
oh boy.
What I am doing is Doctor Who on audio. So we are looking at audio only, not just Big Finish, but audio books. So that could be novels that have been put onto audio.
Oh, okay.
That could be the just audio only stories.
Okay.
So the idea is that you listen to all of Doctor Who. You do a listening marathon. So that also includes like the TV soundtracks or maybe the Target books as well. So what I've tried to do is just collate all of that together and try and put that into a timeline. So the ultimate idea is you have the ultimate playlist. You press play at the beginning and you can just listen to the whole story of Doctor Who from beginning to end.
Who's got bloody time to do that?
Well, I don't know, but one day.
To all of these, then we're talking
mainly,
about today.
mostly.
To all of these.
Well,
all the details.
Hold on. So we are obviously starting with the first Doctor.
That's right.
So we'll see how far we get this time.
Oh,
okay.
Boy. Does that mean it's all Susan's stories today?
Well, mainly Susan. Okay.
Oh, no.
So we're starting off from the beginning, but before we start, let's just go over sort of some of the rules. They're not really rules, but just so you know where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Okay. So I've tried to divide up the stories into seasons. So sort of based on the episode count of the time. So what was it, like 40 something in the first series, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I've sort of broken it up like that. Okay. I've tried to mix up the stories a little bit as well, so we don't get like tons of historical ones together. You get like historical future, maybe a sideways. Try and mix it up a bit. Also taking into consideration who's narrating or performing as well, trying to mix it up a little bit. So your ultimate playlist is a bit more interesting as well.
Don't make these poor fools listen to Carol Ann Ford for hours on end. Okay.
Also, I try to take references, if something's been mentioned. Just warning you now, Marco Polo and the Aztecs get mentioned nearly every single First Doctor novel, story, everything. So obviously I'm taking like the continuity, if something's mentioned before or after.
Well, if it's mentioned before, then the stories you're talking about have got to come after.
Well, exactly. That's a very simple example of that, isn't it?
Even I could do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Also,
How many
as well,
are there in this first batch?
I don't know. Okay, I haven't counted. I'm just going to go through them. Okay. So also, don't ask any questions or I'll lose my train of thought. Also, there might be some here that you're thinking, hang on, this Companion Chronicle isn't here or not. So for example, like the Companion Chronicles, a lot of them have like a framing story where it's the older character telling the story back. So if that framing story is set at a certain time, that's where it's going to go. For example, some of the Susan ones are referencing when she meets the Eighth Doctor. So obviously that story is going to be in the Eighth Doctor, not in season 1, if you see what I mean. But I will explain that as we go on. Okay.
What if it's a Companion Chronicle story, but it's an older Susan recounting an earlier adventure when she was younger?
Yeah, that's the example that I just gave. It does depend on what the framing thing was. Okay. So sometimes, but also, can I just say here, because I know I have, all these rules can be broken at any time.
Yeah, so be pointing out
they will be broken.
Right.
So we're not sticking to everything.
I'm here
also,
just in case it ain't so dry as dust. If you listening to all of these continuity things.
Okay. Also, as well, just finally, there are some that I haven't been able to fit in. So, for example, the audio annuals that have come out. You know, those first Doctor stories that don't really have any continuity, and it's like
those long ones, those 8-hour ones.
Well, no, they're all the short stories from the annuals, aren't they?
Oh, not the stories, the novels.
No, if it's a novel on audio, I've included it.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the first Doctor Who annual with
I don't pay attention
William
to
Hartnell
those.
or whatever. Some of those don't really fit because he's like human and he's meeting the Zarbi for whatever before he's met the Zarbi. All that. So some of those I've not fitted in.
The Lair of Zarbi Supremo,
that kind of thing. Yeah. I haven't been able to fit those in, but maybe you could.
For you not to be able to fit things in.
And also for this time around as well, the latest David Bradley Unbound ones, I've not fitted those in.
They're unbound.
Well, from what we've heard, they don't really seem too unbound. But until we get like the full version, until that one comes out in like May 2027, we'll see where that goes because it's not a finished story. I've not included that this time around, but I've tried to include everything else as well. And also, can I just say, as soon as this video goes out, it will be out of date. There will be new First Doctor audios out there.
We
it's
don't
not
need
a
your comments,
definitive
right?
version.
Telling us all the stories that
there
are coming
will
out
be
after
things
this.
wrong. I know. Okay, this is just my early attempt at trying to do this. Maybe we can revise it later, but this is just the beginning. Okay.
I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, one, how jolly to have this sort of chronology. I'm sure lots of people are going to go on the pilgrimage of your chronology and do all these stories in order. The second thing you're probably thinking is, like Toby Hadoke's Too Much Informations, how the hell is he going to do the entire run of Doctor Who? But he promises me that if we start on this journey, we're going to have the great chronology of everything, going all the way up to, I mean, Shooty Cat, I got any audios?
Who knows? Let's see. Let's see how far we go. We should start then, shouldn't we? We should start.
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay, let's go. So, Season 1. We already start with a bit of a stumbling block here, okay?
Oh, dear.
So, with the TV stories, obviously, I would like to go with the TV soundtracks, and there are quite a lot of those out there. If there's no TV soundtrack, I will go with the Target audiobook. We obviously don't have An Unearthly Child in any of those forms at the moment.
No.
Until somebody gets some therapy for their daddy issues and gets a job.
Oh, excuse me?
We might not get An Unearthly Child for quite a while.
Did they do the audio of the Target?
So there was a Target recorded, but it's never read by William Russell, but it's never been released.
Oh, well, they should just let that come out.
So we haven't got that to begin our story. But we do have a couple of pre-Unearthly Child stories to begin with as well. I don't really like the sort of before Unearthly Child Susan and Doctor stories. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like them, but I am going to include them here. So we start off with Hunters of Earth.
Boy, you know, this one was in James Lark's bottom 10 Doctor Who audios of all time.
Well, okay, you can comment on if you like them or not.
Was it read by Carol Ann Ford?
So this is read by Carol Ann Ford with one other voice. So this is in the third person. She's telling the story. It's set in October 1963. So the Doctor and Susan are living in the TARDIS in the junkyard. Susan is going to Coal Hill School, and it's an hour-long story. The Doctor's trying to repair the TARDIS at this point. We see Susan at school. She's got a friend. There's something sort of weird going on, and sort of an alien thing has landed in the war, and it gets reactivated. So the Doctor sorts like the jamming signal and sorts it out and everything. But this is where our story starts, October 1963.
As an example of Carol Ann Ford's terrible acting, please, I suggest you just check this out anyway. Especially the Jewish voice that she does for one character, which is so offensive. Okay, so Hunters of the Earth.
Hunters of the Earth.
Destiny of the Doctor.
Yeah, that's the Destiny of the Doctor series.
Okay.
The only reason I'm not so keen on the pre-Unearthly Child stuff is that obviously Unearthly Child is a great opening mystery for the story of Doctor Who. Whereas here, you've got the TARDIS, Susan the Doctor.
Actually,
and it just goes. So, but, you know, so
suddenly that mystery makes no sense.
So suddenly
if you have all this going on before it.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Right.
I seem to remember there was a companion chronicle set before on Unearthly Child.
Well, yes, there are a few, but some of those have a framing device of later on, so we don't always have that.
Okay.
But so
very complicated, this,
Well, yes. So next up, we do have a companion chronicle.
Oh,
this is The Sleeping Blood.
I don't know what that is.
This is another one set. Susan and the Doctor are travelling before they come to Earth, but it's Susan telling the story back, so that's why I put it here. And actually, part of that framing bit is Susan saying, well, I've come to learn that the TARDIS is my home, and this is how blah, 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 blah. So she's sort of talking about... That's what I've just said.
No, but where is it set?
Oh, no, she's just saying this. She's just saying, I've come to learn that TARDIS is home, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened once to me and Grandfather when we were travelling.
Okay.
So that's why I've put it here. So it sort of adds to that. I can't put it any later because they're going to meet Ian and Barbara, and it's just her saying, they were exploring before they came to Earth and to think of the TARDIS as home. So this is Susan telling the story back in like first person, saying, this is what happened to me. The Doctor and Susan are exploring. He gets stung by something and falls sick. And this is Susan. She's got to go out and explore on her own. So it's a nice little like two-parter of that. So
that's the inverse to what I said about Hunters of the Earth. I listened to this one recently, and Carol Ann Ford gives a great performance in this one. She's having to create a proper scared Susan without having adventures on her own with her grandfather.
Yeah. So that's a nice little setup as we go in. So then next, it would be An Unearthly Child.
Oh. Not for you today, I'm afraid.
Dickheads United are still going. So
if you can get a pirate copy of William Russell's reading of the book, well, good luck to you.
But I do have a solution here. We also don't have a TV soundtrack of the Daleks or the Target audio book. Well, a different Target audio book. So the one we've got is the David Whittaker one, which changes the opening story, doesn't it? All of that.
This up a bit.
So we're not including that. So no Unearthly Child, no Daleks. But the next solution is the TV soundtrack of The Edge of Destruction, narrated by Carol Ann Ford.
You get a lot of work in this one.
But what we do get here is a little recap of what's happened. So usefully, she says about Unearthly Child meeting Ian and Barbara, meeting the Daleks on Skaro, and then we go into the TV soundtrack of Edge of Destruction. So you can get away with it there. The Target of Edge of Destruction also has a recap of An Unearthly Child and the Daleks as well, quite usefully. We do skip over those stories, but
that's
when
Nigel
you're listening,
Robinson, isn't it? He loves a bit of continuity. Why can I not ask? Why can't we just watch An Unearthly Child and the Daleks? Or is this audio only, whole thing?
Because the intro that you weren't listening to me, I said it's an audio only, and we're skipping the TV story. Right, so you need to start listening, okay?
Obsessed with audio, you are. Obsessed.
So this is the audio guide. This is what
audio only, folks.
This YouTube video.
No video for you.
This YouTube video is called the audio guide, okay?
Okay, Jesus Christ.
And I prefer the TV soundtrack. So luckily we have a lovely narration of The Edge of Destruction by Carol Ann Ford.
Well, there you go. She's busy working, isn't she?
Yeah.
She is busy earning those pennies.
And then it's really easy after that. We have the TV soundtrack of Marco Polo. So obviously
fabulous.
The end of Edge of Destruction goes straight into Marco Polo with those footprints. That's quite nice. It's quite nice. So far we've had a lot of Carol Ann Ford narrating. This is William Russell now narrating Marco Polo.
Yes,
so that's quite nice.
It is great
as well.
And actually, it does work. Like most of these historicals from William Hartnell's time, they work superbly as audios. Like, God, I fucking wish we could watch it. Yeah. But if you really get a flavour of it just from the audio. Okay, so Marco Polo. Okay.
Yeah. And then the quality goes downhill quite a lot.
Oh, no.
We now have a 1 hour audio reading, The Verge of Death.
The Verge of Death? What's that?
Narrated by Carol Ann Ford. This is fairly recent. It's the one written by Carol Ann Ford, Beth Axford, and that guy that Carol Ann Ford sits next to at signings.
The triumvirate of terror. Okay.
So it's called The Verge of Death, and it follows on directly from the end of Marco Polo. It literally comes into the TARDIS from the end of Marco Polo. There's a lot of Susan reminiscing about her friendship with Ping Cho in this. It's a sequel to The Edge of Destruction. It is explaining why weird stuff goes down in The Edge of Destruction, because there's something still in the TARDIS.
Okay.
I would say to these guys, don't give up your day job. You are not writers. This is absolutely terrible. I'm really sorry. Because, actually, there's lots of Gallifrey talk. There's mention of Susan's tutor, Flavia. There's
please, no.
There's all of this stuff. And what is a shame and what Big Finish have sort of avoided is to do all of that continuity stuff, which doesn't come in season 1.
No.
It totally just ruins it. So that's what I have the problem with. It's a terrible story.
It's fan wank, yeah.
It doesn't fit with season 1, but if you're doing everything, this is where they've shoved it in.
Okay,
this is where
in this great continuity,
what ChatGPT told them to do.
When we finally go to Gallifrey in the War Games, and it's a great mystery.
Well, there won't be.
Well, no, now we've learned it all in Beth Axford's story here, haven't we?
I mean, it does end with... Oh, and also, actually, it mentions Susan's telepathic powers, which doesn't come in until the Sensorite. So it ruins that as well. So basically, it ruins a lot of stuff in the story.
I don't think we can blame Carol Ann Ford, though, to remember the continuity.
Carol Ann Ford does not know the fuck what is going on in that story. So she does not know. So I think
like,
a little bit of Googling.
Like Janet Fielding and Katie Manning in that write stories in the Adventures Before and the Adventures After, I think it's just a way to sell books, to suggest that they wrote. It's a bit like saying Sophie Aldred wrote that Mike Tucker book.
Anyway, and it ends with them talking about going to have a beach holiday, which I suppose in their mind was supposed to be Keys of Marinus, but we haven't got there yet. We've got a few more things to fit in. I should have also mentioned as well, I'm trying to sort of fit in like the themes. So, early on, the Doctor, Ian and Barbara aren't really getting on, are they? They feel like they've been sort of taken away from home. So we've got to sort of consider those sort of character elements as well. Them trying to get home and sort of them learning to get along together as well.
This is why you drop certain stories in certain places then.
Yeah, so that's where the characters so that comes into consideration as well. So next up, we have a short trip, a small semblance of home.
What's that about?
So this is from Big Finish.
These stories are a revelation to me.
So this is Carol Ann Ford reading in the third person, and it's Barbara-centric, which is quite nice.
Oh.
So it's Barbara sort of coping with being away. She's got a little notebook, and she's been keeping tally of all the days that she's been away.
Oh, that sounds like a great
she's sort of
idea.
starting to lose a bit of track of it because she can't sort of, they're on
write in a
different planets
diary
and stuff. Well, she's got like a little notebook of like the days and the times, like how many. So that's why I've put it as early on as I could, and this is the earliest I can because you've got Edge of Destruction goes into Marco Polo, goes into Verge of Death, so I put that this early as possible.
Verge of Death.
So she's keeping this tally. She doesn't think she'll be able to keep it up very long. The Doctor keeps making lots of stops, and it turns out that he's trying to make her feel more at home. He's trying to find basically this tea plant to make her a proper cup of tea rather from the food machine. So that it's quite nice.
That sounds like a great story.
And so it needs to be early on because of the tally thing.
Yeah.
But also it doesn't necessarily fit because the Doctor's going to get grumpy with them and argue as well. So
doing stops in the TARDIS to find a tea leaf so Barbara can feel homely.
So they sort of end up on this alien planet thing and everything. But so he's sort of starting to be a bit kinder by this point.
Right.
But then we go into another one-parter. So these are all quite little short ones. It's the Yellow Fragile Arc of Fragrance.
Oh, I really enjoyed this.
These are the lost stories. So these would have been planned for that original, 13-episode run or anything. So you've got that in mind. It has to be Yellow Fragile Arc of Fragrance because the Masters of Luxor mentions Great Maeston, Yellow Fragile Arc of Fragrance in that order.
Okay.
So that's why you're sort of working backwards with these ones.
And
so that's why it's got to be here.
Genuine pitches?
Well, this
reach the script.
This one particularly was just an idea. So it's been sort of written from the ground up.
Macedon was
absolutely
pitched, wasn't it?
I mean, this doesn't necessarily fit that well because, again, it's another Barbara-centric story straight after the other one, but I've put it here anyway.
Best character. I mean, the more of these they can do, the better.
They've been on Fragrance for a long time, like weeks. Ties in with wanting a holiday.
Well, it does feel very First Doctor, though, doesn't it?
Yes,
just hanging out
just hanging
for a
around.
couple of weeks,
this
Marco Polo, Romans.
Yeah. Oh, also, well, so it sort of ties in with in The Verge of Death, them saying they want to have a bit of a holiday as well. Before. Also, I should mention The Verge of Death said Marco Polo was like a week or two. They didn't even realise that it was months of travelling.
Oh, for God's sake.
Anyway, let's stop.
Do your research, Beth Axford, for God's sake.
Anyway, so Barbara's feels a bit more settled. Maybe that's because she's had her tea and her previous story.
It's a lovely cuppa.
We have that. And then we go straight into this 6-parter, Farewell Great Macedon.
I think it's Macedon.
Macedon. Oh, I get it wrong. Okay, Farewell Great Macedon.
Absolute banger.
I think of it as a bit like Marco Polo. It's sort of spaced out a little bit with those other short stories in between, but for me, it might be a bit too near Marco Polo. But again, it's got to go early on. And this is where the characteristic is very different. It's not really written like the TV. Ian and the Doctor are arguing at the beginning. They're not really their characters in this. It doesn't flow particularly well, but it's got to go here. But in this one as well, okay, this is an important point. So Barbara knows history, and she is saying things can't change. This is history and things can't change. And then it's the Doctor that is trying to save Alexander and build him the iron lung and all of that kind of stuff as well. So it's slightly different here.
Why are you putting this art before the Aztecs then? Oh, wait. Is it because the Doctor goes, I know. Believe me, I know.
Here it's the other way around. Barbara is saying history can't change, and the Doctor is trying, and he fails.
Okay. That makes sense.
So then this ends with them sort of looking out on the TARDIS at Alexander's funeral, and there we go. There's that story.
Can I just say a quick word for John Dorney's Alexander the Great? Just superb. This is an amazing script, yeah. I mean, if you're going to listen to anything in this run, choose this one.
Yeah. And we've also, so far, we've got a nice mix of historical and space.
Yeah.
You know, going on.
I assume we're going to have space next then, are we?
Space next. It's the Masters of Luxor.
Oh, God, so boring.
I quite like this one, but it does start with Barbara saying, you know, hopefully we're going to get home soon. There's that sort of theme going on. And then she's saying, well, I love being in Babylon yesterday, and before that, Fragrance. So that's why we've got this order here. You know, the Doctor's saying it should be 1963, but it's not. And it ends with Luxor being destroyed and the TARDIS departing. There's no sort of going into another story or anything, so it's quite open-ended.
Why do you like that one?
I don't know, I think it's fun. It's just weird. It's that weird early 60s.
Oh,
that's what I like about it.
It's so desensorites.
Yeah. So we've got a clean slate now. We don't have to follow into anything. So now I have the Keys of Marinus.
We're back to the TV story.
We are back.
Okay.
So we don't have the TV soundtrack of this. So we've got the Target book read by Jamie Glover.
Our Ian from Big Finish.
Our Ian from Big Finish. So that's amazing. Quite nice. The only thing with the Target books that I've found when I have put them in, they do like to do a bit of a recap of everything. So they're describing all the characters. They're saying 2 school teachers have been taken away, blah, blah, blah. They've been here. So sometimes there's a bit of a recap of the TV stories at the beginning, but you sort of got to ignore that. But that's in the book.
And that's before the Big Finishes came out. You can't blame poor Philip Hinchcliffe for writing that book.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's what you're going to find a lot. Ian has the jacket on from Marco Polo.
Well, he's been wearing that for some time.
But it's also described in the Target book as well. So it does say that he's wearing that in the book.
Does Marco Polo come before Keys of Marinus on TV?
Yes. In my mind, I was thinking, well, maybe Keys of Marinus does need to go directly after Marco Polo, but now we've got that Verge of Death shoved in there anyway. But also, I think in my mind...
You've totally scuppered this.
But in my mind, I just think Ian's just fancied putting it on after a couple of weeks. It doesn't mean he's wearing it straight away.
Do you know what? At the end of the Masters of Luxor, when they go back to the TARDIS, he thought, do you know, I looked really hot in that fabulous Chinese gear I was wearing in Marco Polo, and puts it on again.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You wear the same clothes twice, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I've put that there a bit later on. And they're all sort of more familiar with each other, and it does feel like they've been travelling a little bit, haven't they?
Well, so going by your sort of thing here, we should be going back to history again now.
Well, then we have the Aztec straight after that.
Okay.
Following
with the TV.
With the TV. This is the Target book again, because we don't have a TV soundtrack. So that's read by William Russell.
Okay.
This is where Barbara obviously wants to change history and the Doctor's saying no. So I think that is after his experience with Alexander the Great. So I think that's quite nice.
I can see how you're having fun actually trying to put these in order, trying to find these little details like this.
Yeah. And obviously Barbara's upset about the Aztec thing at the end. Well, and that wraps up season 1. So
a lovely mixture of historicals, some character development going on between the regulars. Still a bit sort of itchy with each other, but we're getting there.
It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to always flow, but I think it's a good mix of stories there. And roughly, I've sort of tried to do like in my mind, Keys of Mariners is 6 episodes, even though it's a Target book. I've counted the Big Finish episode count. So we're sort of 49, like I said. Or was it 52 in the first series? No, just under. It was like 48 or something.
Can I say?
So it's that rough.
If this is the first series, actually, breaking it down like this, I figured this was going to be like a 50-story run or something you were going to do here, all as one series. But actually, that's not too intimidating. I think you could make that playlist and listen to it over a couple of days.
It's probably about 4 or 5 days long.
Yeah. The trouble is you've got those one-parters, the short trips which are only half an hour, but you've got Farewell Great Mastodon in there, which is about 3 hours long.
Yeah. The lengths sort of differ, don't they? So, well, do you want another one?
Yes, please.
Should we go to season 2?
I know, I'm going to be straight to my player after this.
Right, okay, let's go into season 2 and see what happens after the Aztecs. Okay, season 2. Well, we start off with...
Oh, hang on, wait. Are you not doing the video to start to?
No, I've just done it. I've just done the intro.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Well, season 2 then. We start off with the TV soundtrack of The Sensorites. So we're carrying on.
The TV soundtrack, not the Target.
No, if there's a TV soundtrack, I'm going with that first, rather than the Target.
Why aren't there TV soundtracks to everything here?
Because there's about 4 that they haven't done.
And those are the ones from the season 1?
So, so The Sensorites has a TV soundtrack.
Okay.
Narrated by William Russell, I believe.
Yes!
I believe.
Are you sure it wasn't Carol?
So I've put this here because actually, if people remember The Sensorites, it starts off with them recapping a lot of the TV adventures they've had. And at the end of the Aztecs says, have we landed inside something? And there's a mention of Barbara getting over the Aztecs as well, isn't there? So it sort of does need to carry on.
You're right, they do that, don't they? They literally mention every TV story at the start of that.
They do a lot. And this is where Susan's telepathic powers are released. So I've kept an eye on that and the mentions of those from now on.
Oh, apart from start appearing in the stories?
Well, it will, apart from Verge of Death, which you already had, which ruined it last season.
Oh, Beth Axford, will you pay attention to this chronology, please?
But then it ends with the Doctor saying he's going to dump Ian and Barbara off at the end. He has that tantrum, doesn't he?
Yes.
So
off with you! I've had enough of you!
I mean, with all, like I said, in season 1, like the characteristics aren't always sort of consistent. Sometimes they're arguing, sometimes they're not. But that's life. The first Doctor as well, isn't
life,
it? So, it happens here, doesn't it? So then we go to a companion chronicle, The Transit of Venus.
Jacqueline Rayner.
So this is older Ian telling a story back. So I have broken a rule here, but it directly carries on from the end of The Sensorites, the actual story, doesn't it? So what happens is the Doctor dumps Ian and Barbara off, and it's not the beginning of the Reign of Terror. It is actually a story with Captain Cook. The TARDIS goes overboard, doesn't it? Ian and the Doctor are off on a ship with Captain Cook for a couple of weeks. And it also has links to the Sensorites with Susan's telepathic powers as well.
Do you know
which
Jacqueline
it all
Rayner
ties together.
Wait. But hang on. So surely at the end of this, the Doctor's got to be wanting to throw him off again because of the start of the Reign of Terror.
And it ends off with them saying, right, I'm going to throw you off again.
Jacqueline Rayner, man, you know exactly where you're putting things. You know exactly what the continuity is. Beth Axford, will you please be a mentee to Jacqueline Rayner?
It might not be Beth Axford. It's that guy that sits next to Caroline Ford doing the signing. He's also an author as well, apparently.
Well, Jacqueline Rayner can somehow insert her story and get it right.
A lot of thought has gone into it. So it works really well. But obviously, the framing device is older Ian, but I don't think that particularly matters for me.
William Russell doing those readings for the Companion Chronicles, fabulous. And Transit of Venus is a great story. Okay, so we're on a good run here.
And then we are into the Reign of Terror, where we should be. So, pure historical. I mean, we've got 2 historicals next to each other, but that doesn't really matter. It's the TV soundtrack of the Reign of Terror, narrated by... Oh, is that Caroline Ford, actually? I haven't got it in front of me, but I think it is. Anyway, it ends with the Doctor saying our destiny is in the stars. So this obviously
beautiful
is a bit of an open ending. So we can put anything.
Are we heading into the stars next then?
Well, next up then we have Rise and Fall, which is a short trip.
Okay.
Narrated by William Russell. It's Ian and the Doctor. They go outside the TARDIS. They leave Susan and Barbara in the TARDIS wardrobe, having some fun.
In the wardrobe?
Well, in the TARDIS, they're playing with clothes or something.
Oh, the little women are left in the wardrobe.
This is like a really short, 20-minute story.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting. There is a mention that they need a bit of a rest after France, so that's why it is going here.
Okay.
So they've just been to France. And it's a really interesting story, actually. It's like this civilization that is going at a different speed to them. They see the Doctor and Ian as like statues that stood there for thousands of years, and they see this really fast civilization going around as well. So it's a nice little thing.
It's a borrowed idea, may I say, from Star Trek. But
okay.
It's a goodie though. And for a 20-minute story, that's quite fun.
Yep.
Is it William Russell? I suppose
that is William Russell. I have said that. Yeah.
Oh, you did say that. Okay.
You need to listen. Yep.
I am listening. I'm taking in a lot of information here. Okay, I'm trying.
Then we have Planet of Giants.
Oh, can you hear me?
This is the Target book read by Carol Ann Ford because we don't have the soundtrack.
Another one missing.
It recaps a lot of the TV stuff again, which doesn't really fit, but it does say that they had a recent adventure with the French Revolution. So that's why I put it there. And if it's third person, but if it was Susan, she didn't witness the last short trip because she was in the wardrobe, so it doesn't really matter. The only problem here is that obviously Planet of Giants on TV would lead into Dalek Invasion of Earth. So is it Terrance Dicks? I think it's Terrance Dicks on this one. He actually writes the beginning of Dalek Invasion of Earth at the end of this novel. It says the Daleks are waiting, So I would edit that out your audio file if you were doing a proper playlist of this.
There's only certain levels that people are willing to go
but
to.
But also,
it
could just say the Daleks are waiting, and that's just a little clue of something that might come up in the future. So,
a bit like the end of Space Museum, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter, but it bugs me a little bit.
Well, it's a Terrance Dicks, so I'm sure it's a banger.
And we've had a good mix as well of historical, and then we've got a weird sort of sideways with Rise and Fall, a bit more current with Planet of Giants, and now we are going historical again with the companion chronicle, The Library of Alexandria. This is Ian telling the story back. There's no sort of framing device, he's just telling the story back, but he does say the Doctor said our destiny is in the stars, so that's referencing the end of Reign of Terror.
It's got to come after that.
They spend a good couple of weeks there and settle down for a little bit.
Simon Gurrier, it's a great script.
Ian mentions Alexander the Great is a friend of theirs as well.
So had farewell, mate. Great Macedon. Yeah.
They know from experience they can't change history. So
That's
we've
the
got
Aztecs,
that as well.
And the other one you were mentioning.
Yeah. The transit of Venus, Captain Cook has mentioned as being weeks before as well.
Oh, my God, they're ticking all the boxes in this one.
We've got quite a few references to place it here, so that's quite nice.
God, you must get so excited by all these references when you listen to these. Oh, my God, I know where it fits.
Then we're going into a quite a new one. I don't know this one particularly well. Starflight, which is an audio original from BBC, which literally came out the other month.
What, one of those big books?
No, it's just like an hour.
Oh, okay. Who's in that?
What do you mean, who's in it?
Is it Carol Ann Ford?
No, it's read by Christopher Naylor this time, as in third person.
Doctor.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone's dead apart from Carol Ann Ford right now, so they haven't got that many options.
And they wanted someone with talent.
It doesn't always have to be someone from the TV, but this is the first instance, actually. No, you are right.
Put this here, though.
So I put this here. There's a mention of the Sense Sphere here. That's all I know, particularly of this one. It's a spacey story, so I've just sort of tried to slot it in. Nothing leads from the Library of Alexandria, so it doesn't really matter. So I've just sort of shoved it in here in between some historicals.
I just want to say one thing, though, because you've already done Planet of the Giants, and we've got, obviously, Dalek Invasion of Earth came after that in the TV series. You're having to jam in now all of these other original stories between those two.
We've trebled Carol Ann Ford's.
Oh,
Susan Susan stayed for 10 years on
She might whinge that it ruined her career, but look at all this work it's given her. So, we're about to read them all out now.
Ian and Barbara and Susan travelled a long time together.
It was only about 3 years, but 1965, it was only 2 years.
Years. Oh, and then we're talking of a long time. Then we're on to The Witch Hunters.
Oh, so good.
So there's a couple of the novels that have got audio releases. So I have included them here. This is read by David Collins.
Yes, he has a particular way of saying Susan
He does
instead
say
of
Susan.
Susan.
He does say Susan. I mean, this probably doesn't really fit because it's written in the 90s.
I always thought this was earlier in Susan's run, but it doesn't have to be.
Well, there's so many to shove in. And also, it's adding in a historical. So it's set in 1692. It sort of comes in mid-story. When they land, Ian's like, oh, here we go again, because they can't see what's going on outside. So they've been travelling for a while. There's mentions of Skaro, the Sensorite.
Oh, so it's got to be later then.
The fast return switch is used as part of the story as well.
Okay.
Barbara still mentions the Aztecs.
You're right then.
And not being able to change history.
It's got to be later then.
I don't know this one particularly well. It's like a 8-hour reading, so this is making your season 2 very long.
It's worth it though. This is such a great dramatic story.
I don't like the stuff with the Doctor from the Five Doctors is travelling back and forth and turns up in this. So there's a sort of a mention. It's a very vague mention, but you would recognise it from the Five Doctors.
Is he not in a perfumed garden or something?
Just ignore that. So there's sort of a first Doctor from later on in this timeline here as well that gets involved. But you can still enjoy the story as part of this run. And it's a Susan-centric story. I think her psychic powers are involved in this as well.
Yeah, well, it's basically doing the Witch Finders, but as a William Hartnell historical, where they're essentially accused, and Susan in particular is accused of being a witch. It's a great book. I just get very distracted by the way David Collins says Susan.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, Susan is mentioned in every other sentence.
Okay, and then we mix it up even more in our playlist. So we have The Destination Wars.
Oh, is that David Bradley?
So this is the first of the David Bradley forecast as well. So I am including everything. I am. Some people I know probably wouldn't want to include this, but
we're now into the much improved Claudia Grant era of Susan, aren't we?
Yeah. So this is placed here because Ian, when they land, Ian says, "Oh, we're still on Earth." So they have just come from Earth from the Witchfinders.
Oh, well.
Doctor's been making improvements to the TARDIS, and it's sort of referenced that maybe Ian and Barbara haven't really been near to their time yet, and they haven't really, because they don't really know. Planet of the Giants, we know, but they don't necessarily know.
It's not till Dalek Invasion of Earth, isn't it?
Yeah. Daleks are mentioned in this as well. By the way, it's the space year 2003, so it isn't actually anywhere near their time, but you think it at the beginning. We do have the Master in this, though.
Yes, so it's the much controversial James Dreyfus.
Yeah.
No, not James Dreyfus.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, James Dreyfus Master.
Yeah, so we do have the Master, but I think that it's done. See, this is how you do it. You do it sort of quite vaguely. They don't go into detail.
I recognise you, young man.
I don't, from what I remember, I don't believe there's any Gallifrey mention or anything like that. They just know each other.
Okay.
It's a bit, like
the monk.
A bit like the monk, yeah. So it's fine. Susan obviously knows who it is. It's mentioned Ian has clothes from Peking, so he's still got that kimono hanging around.
He loves that kimono, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then with these David Bradley ones, they do tend to follow on to each other. They have been inspired by the TV stories.
This is going to make this very easy.
It ends with Ian being shot. They land, which goes straight into the Great White Hurricane, which is New York, 1888. They have that adventure. And
the Great White Hurricane is known to me only because Steyer, the Sontaran, who does reviews on Gallifrey Base, gave it 1 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Enjoy that, everybody. Enjoy that.
It was very boring.
But it ends with the Doctor saying, "Oh, I've got the answer to getting you home. How to return you to Earth.
We're going to Dalek Invasion of Earth."
Well, those box sets. So that's obviously the first David Bradley box set. And then I think in the second one, he is trying to get them home. But it is quite open-ended. So we need to shove in a mix up. We can't just have all the David Bradley ones together. So then I've got another companion chronicle, read by William Russell, The Wanderer.
Oh, this was a goodie.
Yeah. So this is Rasputin, isn't it?
Yeah,
and all of that.
Oh, it's the Master.
Yeah. So it's got Our Destiny is in the Stars mention again. They're not particularly desperate to get home, but I think it does mention, we're on Earth again. So obviously they've just come from New York. And there are themes of like home and a wanderer, and it feels like they've been going a long time. They've sort of been wandering through time and space for quite a long time. It is older Ian telling the story back, but he's just saying, we landed here and this is what happened. It's not like in any particular place or anything. So that's fine, isn't it?
It's also in the heyday of the Companion Chronicles, this one, all right? So, banger.
Yeah. Then we go back to the David Bradley stories. So it's the invention of death.
Oh, talking of bangers. Do you remember? Frere Shaka, Frere Shaka. They sing the song, don't they? It's lovely.
So the Doctor's adjusting the controls. He's a bit rude to Ian and Barbara at the beginning of this. And his idea to get them home now is to do a time slingshot.
What's that?
So the theme of trying to get Ian and Barbara to come home is coming in more and more as we...
In the Bradley ones.
Now we go, in the Bradley ones and in these ones. So, he said at the end of The Great White Hurricane, this is how to get you to Earth. They've obviously not got back to Earth because they've landed in Russia, in wherever, in the Wanderer. And now he's saying, right, time slingshot, let's go to it, let's get home. Oh, and it also mentions they're only recently left Earth. So obviously from the Wanderer.
I mean, to be fair, though, there are many a TV William Hartnell story where they think they're going home and then they look at the scanner and go, oh, God, all right, well, let's go and explore.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So you can kind of fit in anything here if you wanted to.
But this fits in, it's a very 60s alien story. I quite like that.
The Invention of Death is astonishingly good.
Yeah.
The idea that the Doctor, Ian, Barbara and Susan bring death to a planet. Oh, it's so great. Yeah. Okay.
And then that's really my episode count for series.
That's right. Your season opener was the Sensorites. Your season closer was the Invention of Death. I mean, look how much that series improved as it went along.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a great mix.
It is, although a lot less TV stuff in there this time now.
We've used them all
and
up.
A lot more sort of original stories.
We've used it all up.
Are you getting a whole another season out of this? And just with Dalek Invasion of Earth at the end.
We've got a lot more to go before Susan leaves, let me tell you.
Oh, God. Well, better get on with it, then, haven't we?
Well, okay. I think we've got time for another one. Do you want another one?
Let's do season 3.
Let's do season 3.
This is quite an education,
Yeah. Are we going through too fast? Like, in my mind, we're going to go in a bit more detail, but there's a lot to rush through.
You said all the details you got. What more detail do you want? You're just supposed to be putting these in a fucking order.
Well, so we finished with the Invention of Death. Let's go to season 3.
Okay, I can't wait. No, what extra detail can you add?
I don't know. We can talk about them.
Oh, you're joking.
So,
hang on, how many more series you got here?
We've got a lot. Right. The end of Invention of Death does actually lead into the next story, the Barbarians and the Samurai. So, like I said, these David Bradley ones are really like shoved together. So, literally,
the end of the Barbarians
at the end of Invention of Death, they literally get out the TARDIS and there's a little scene. So I think that's quite a nice way to end season 2 as well, as a bit of a mystery.
What's this one about?
So this is pure historical. It references the Destination Wars.
Okay.
The Doctor mentions they've been to London, China, Mexico, and recently Paris, which is obviously trying to reference a Reign of Terror, but whatever. He's recently for him is probably just season 2. So
timey-wimey.
Yeah. It ends with them, the TARDIS landing again, saying there's no readings, and they say, right, we're going out, there's somewhere to explore. That last scene is picked up at the beginning of the next story, how do you say it?
Phoenicians.
The Phoenicians, which is in that David Bradley box set. It's a bit annoying having these like quite heavy historicals back to back, because they both are.
They are
but that's how they have. That's what Big Finish decided to do.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got. So again, another pure historical.
Is this more Bradley stuff? I need to listen to these. I bet these are all great.
This one has a bit of a love interest for Ian, and Barbara's getting a bit jealous.
Oh,
here
really?
as well.
Jelly Barbara.
But it ends. He buys Barbara a present. He swaps his watch and gets her a present, so they make up at the end, which is quite nice.
Okay.
And then we lead into the next David Bradley story, TikTok World. So like I say, this is an Xbox set. They really have given us no options but to have these as a big block.
That's okay, isn't it?
But it's a bit refreshing because it's future. I call this one a sideways story, TikTok World. It's a bit of a
I
weird
see what you're saying. It means you can't insert any of these short trips or companion chronicles into any of these.
They all follow on from each other. So you are getting all the David Bradley ones in a big chunk for a lot of the time.
Okay, well, what's the next one?
It's a good one for Susan, though, TikTok World. She's got a lot of knowledge of science. She's a bit more sensible in this one. It does feature actual Carol Ann Ford as an older, weird, different dimension
and
Susan.
Claudia Grant.
Yeah, they're both in it.
Wow. Okay.
But so
I'm gonna guess who gives the better performance.
But the thing is, it's sort of all undone. So at the beginning of it, the TARDIS is going wrong, and they end up in this place, and then it sort of gets undone. So it's the last scene of this is the same as the first scene. So they're thrown off course, no idea where they're going.
So is that into the next David Bradley one then?
Well, no. Well, they don't know where they're going, no idea where they are. It's not like it then ends up with something else. So this is where you can break that David Bradley cycle and add in a few other things as well. Yeah. So I've sort of left that as we don't know where we're going. And then we can go into the next story.
But you breathed a sigh of relief at the end of this one, didn't you? They didn't have a next time, whatever the next David Bradley one is.
So then to mix it up, we've got another companion chronicle. It's called E is For.
I don't know this one. Is that one of the later ones?
Yeah. So this is Susan telling the story back. It's a bit of a two-hander, sort of set within the story, though. So this very much focuses on Susan's telepathic powers again.
Okay.
Waking up. She basically has her own adventure again. She's off. The Doctor, Ian and Barbara, they land at like this sort of space market thing. She gets lost and gets captured and off she goes. So they don't see Ian, Barbara and the Doctor until the end again. So they're sort of out of it while Susan's having this adventure.
Oh, I see. Just to give her a chance to narrate the whole thing.
So it mixes it up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, and then we've got a very strange one as well now. So the Flywheel Revolution, which is another short trip. Narrated by Peter Purves.
Oh, I love his first Doctor.
So
he sort of does a voice like that.
But he's not doing that.
What do you mean?
Particularly. So this is Peter Purves, but it's written from the point of view of the robot telling the story that the Doctor meets. So it's Peter Purves going, I did this man came up to me, and it's the first Doctor coming up to him. Right?
So it's the point of view of a robot?
Yeah.
Played by Peter Purves.
Well, yeah, telling the story back.
I mean, they may as well have done Carol Lanford. She's the one that sounds like a robot.
So actually, it's sort of a solo Doctor story, but there is a mention of the people that he's with, the school teachers and Susan.
Okay.
And they're on like another side of a fence or something somewhere else. So it's the Doctor coming back to this robot for a few times, but there is a mention that whoever he's with is trapped somewhere else for a bit. So you can get away with it that way.
Your season 3 is an eclectic bunch of stories.
It's a bit of a weird one.
What the hell's coming next?
Yeah. So that's a nice short trip. Before we go into a longer one, so next it's Dracula. So this is the audio reading of the recent book of the book, because it's an audio reading of it.
Okay. Have you heard it?
Most of it, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Isn't that a Barbara story as well?
Well, it's got everybody in it, but it's who reads it? It is Barnaby Edwards, I believe.
Hello.
Does this one.
Dracula by Barnaby Edwards.
They land on Earth in Whitby in 1901. Mm-hmm. Susan asks if it's England. Ian and Barbara are hopeful that they might be home, so we're going back to that theme. They're eager to get home already, and they say they've had quite a few narrow scrapes in recent weeks in the past.
TikToks and phonicians and all sorts.
And they've not been close to London 1963 for a while. It's the way that they mention it. It's like this is the closest they've been.
Okay.
Which I think we haven't really, again, like say Planet of Giants, they didn't know. There isn't anywhere else that's particularly near. And it's like they've not seen the recent past, their living recent past, if you see what I mean.
Which goes with with
what we've got so far, because they've been way back in history before. They haven't really been in the 1900s or anything yet. There's a reference of Susan as a telepath. Marco Polo and the Aztecs are mentioned like all the time. It says they've not had time to relax. And Skaro and Marinus are mentioned as well.
Okay.
It ends with then Ian and Barbara hoping that they'll be finding their own time again soon.
Very patient. A lot of these stories are starting and ending with Ian and Barbara hoping that they're
I know. Well, yeah, I know. That's the thing.
I'll get to the point where I go, oh, fuck it, we're just stuck here, all right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the theme of this series. It's called, I don't know, what would you call it? On the way home or something.
I love the fact that you managed to jam in a Paul Mars written Penguin classic Doctor Who book in the middle of all this. How wonderful.
Well, the ending of them hoping to get home then follows into the next story, Return to Skaro.
Oh, I don't like this
Again,
one.
the David Bradley one. So here, the Doctor mentions using the fast return switch. So it feels like it's sort of, they're hoping to get home and the Doctor's like, right, let's give it a go. Let's try the fast return switch.
Why do they keep using the fast return switch? I mean, it causes nothing but trouble.
No, this is the first time they properly use it to get home. And Barbara says, well, it's taken a long time anyway, so we might as well give it a try.
But it takes them back to Skaro.
So it takes them back to Skaro. which is now, this story is a bit of a sequel to the Daleks. And if you remember, we haven't actually had the Daleks in this particular timeline of audio, so it's quite nice. This is actually the first time we've got the Daleks.
In your continuity, the thing that made Doctor Who a success has completely vanished. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So at the end, the Doctor wants to use a fast return switch again. But Barbara says, no, let's just carry on as normal for a bit. It sort of lightly then leads into the next story, which is in the same box set, Last of the Romanoffs.
Oh, okay. They're trying to do a run, aren't they? With
They sort of had. But I don't think you need to have it go straight into Last of the Romanoffs. I have here because Susan, at the end of the Skaro one, Susan is off in like the TARDIS library or doing something. And she's in the TARDIS library doing something at the beginning of Last of the Romanoffs. It doesn't necessarily...
Do you realise what you have done by making this the first Dalek story in your continuity? The first Daleks are played by Nicholas Briggs.
Yes, there we
go.
Not
Peter Hawkins and all those people. Oh, dear God.
Yeah. So, Last of the Romanoffs, it's a historical Russia, 1918.
Yes, this is really fun.
It's a really good one. The Doctor mentions Skaro. Oh, we're going back to Skaro again. There's an Aztecs mention again.
Right. Fucking obsessed with these historicals, aren't they?
Ian and Barbara are getting a bit annoyed not knowing where they're going to land all the time.
When the fuck are we getting home?
Yeah. Susan uses her powers again. So that comes up quite a lot. And the Doctor refers to history cannot be changed again.
Right. We're still going over a lot of old ground here.
But here he's questioning should they interfere anyway, which is a nice development. But then at the end of this one, the ship doesn't seem to be working, and it follows directly into The Glory of the Earth. Which is another
EARTH?
URTH, which is a bit of a... So we've got a space story now. We're mixing it up quite well. The Doctor, at the end of this one, he's repairing the ship at the end of the Romanoffs. And then there's something at the end of this one. There's a faulty locator, which Susan is checking. And
Not a fault locator?
No, there's something she's checking anyway at the end of Glory of the Earth.
Okay.
It's not a great story, actually. I struggle with that one.
Is that a David Bradley one?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've
been going a while now. That's why we're starting to rest on their laurels.
And then it directly goes into the next David Bradley one. You can't get away from it because it carries on from the end where Susan is like...
me? David Bradley's fabulous. Why are you complaining?
But they're just so wedged together. It's a bit annoying because Susan is like, I know what the problem is with the TARDIS, and she finds like some alien midget or mouse thing or whatever, some creature in the workings of the TARDIS. So that is at the beginning of the Hollow Crown.
Okay.
Which is a historical. And then this one, okay, this is interesting. So this was the last David Bradley before the Unbound stuff happened. And it ends with the TARDIS out of control. And he's saying it's someone with immense power taking control. And then they never did any more after that. They just went into the Unbound stuff. So well done, Big Finish.
There was a big old gap, wasn't there? There was a long gap.
But they ended it on a big cliffhanger and they just didn't make any more, which is annoying.
Have you managed to find a story?
Well, and I'm like, how can we do this? I mean, in my mind, at some point, I thought maybe it could be the Sensorites or something like that. But there is a short trip called A Star is Born, narrated by William Russell, a future story, and the TARDIS is answering a distress signal and they've been called in. It's read in the third person, so it sort of fits. Like it ends with the TARDIS being like taken off course. And in this particular story, I think they are powerful enough. They could, like with a distress signal, get the TARDIS in. It doesn't really make sense.
I feel like you're bending the rules a little.
But when I listened to them back to back, it sort of made sense to me.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just ended up with this cliffhanger at the end of Hollow Crown. What are you supposed to do? There's nothing else follows into it.
We'll go with it.
It's a bit of a Barbara-centric story. There's seal aliens in it. It's quite a nice one.
Seals? What?
Yeah, they look like seals, yeah. And Ian remembers radiation sickness. From the Dalek story we haven't got.
It's not something you'd forget in a hurry, is it?
No, he's remembered it like, this is years now they've been travelling, it feels like.
Okay. My God, we've had so much David Bradley this season.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Well, and continuing with the theme of Ian and Barbara wanting to get home, which has come up quite a lot here, there's another short trip called Home Again, Home Again.
Home Again, Home Again, okay.
Read by Stephen Critchlow.
Who's that?
I don't know. And they get back to 1963 as we head towards the end of this season. They're back home. And Ian and Barbara are like, have we been away months, years? What has happened? And they're like, Doctor, you've done what you said you would. And they get back to Coal Hill.
It's a fake.
But it turns out they are in June 1963, So there are 2 Ians and 2 Barbaras walking around the school as they come back.
That's a
and
great idea.
Yeah.
Is it a good story?
It is quite good. But as well as that, so they're going around, so there's stuff that's happening before.
So what do they say? Do they say, what, are we just going to hang around here until they go off?
No, they don't realise. So there's like our Ian then goes into a room and it's old Barbara having a meeting.
Oh, my
Anyway,
God.
It's really good.
It's like a French farce.
It's really good. There's a bit of an argument. The Doctor wants to just say goodbye and head off straight away, but Susan persuades him to stay a little bit. There's a bit of a theme here as well. So the Doctor's then thinking, well, me and Susan better go home. And he almost puts those cubes together to call the Time Lords to get them back. But he doesn't in the end, because then Ian and Barbara come back and say, no, because they're like, well, we're in June. It's fine. We'll just hide out and we can wait. But then they have a bit of an argument. It's a great little short trip.
To this tonight.
It's a great short trip, actually.
Okay, we'll put it on tonight.
I like how that's been building up to this. So they get home, but they don't get home, obviously.
I mean, that's the best joke you could possibly have. And it's, well, the last time they got home, they were miniaturised. This time, they're here too early. I mean, will they ever make it back in time? Let's find out.
So then it ends. It's quite nice. So they sort of make up after having an argument, and the Doctor promises to get them home one day.
For God's sakes!
And it sort of wraps up the need for Ian and Barbara to get home all the time. I think because, on TV, a bit later on with Vicky and that, they're not wanting to get home, are they?
Like a lovely family.
Yeah. So we need to sort of... I feel like it comes to the head.
When David Whittaker leaves and Dennis Spooner starts script editing, that falls away a bit about them trying to get home. Yeah.
And then we finish this particular season with a companion chronicle, The Flames of Cadiz.
Oh, it's another great companion chronicle.
Narrated by William Russell and Carol Ann Ford. So it's Ian and Susan telling the story back.
Is it a double disc of this?
It's 4 parts.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So here they're not trying to get home. They're in Spain, Spanish Armada. They're having a bit of a holiday. It feels like they're sort of relaxing a little bit.
It don't last long, though. They think someone gets burnt alive by the end of episode 1.
Well, Peking is mentioned, and we've got Francis Drake, who is Ian's hero, and Ian mentions the Captain Cook incident as well.
Hey. They finish mentioning their own lost stories.
And the Doctor is warning to Ian, do not disrupt history, because he's trying to do it again. So it's the sort of same themes that come up again and again in all these 60s stories. But it's quite nice.
If that is the end of the season, that means we didn't have one TV story all year.
No.
Well,
how
many more are you going to be jamming up this orifice?
I mean, that is quite a lot of episodes.
You're doing
hours
more
of listening.
Stories between Planet of Giants and Dalek Invasion of Earth than we had between Planet of Fire and Caves of Androzani.
Yep, there is a lot going on. So that is the end of season 3. And that's where we're going to leave it this time, everybody.
Oh,
we are
really?
So that is where we leave the Doctor, Ian, Susan and Barbara.
I think of the 3 seasons that you have presented to me today, the one that intrigues me the most is that 3rd season with all of those David Bradley stories sort of seeking.
I mean, you've got like Dracula, which is like, again, a 6-hour reading.
Put some Paul Mars in the middle of there.
So again, these are all like 3 to 4 days worth each season, I would say, at least, non-stop as well. So realistically, you're talking weeks.
This is the sort of party I'd want to go to. David Bradley, Claudia Grant, Paul Mars, and Peter Purvis. Wonderful.
And it's mixed up. I've tried to mix it up as much as I can to make it an interesting listening experience. But
no, and it is making sense to me now. Now you're sort of spelling out the details. And generally speaking, it's either other stories that have been referenced to or the beginning and the end of the story of how you're tying these two together. And I think there's only one occasion where you've sort of got a bit desperate in that trying to
it's not always going to be perfect. That's the thing.
No. But I mean, it'd be great fun to do this. Although, really, it does disturb me. There's far more Susan about than I ever thought.
I know. I mean, in my mind, if I have an accident and break my legs and in hospital for like 6 months, I can put these playlists on.
You know, no way.
That's what I'm putting this on.
Excuse me, if you've broken your legs and you're in a lot of pain, the last thing you're going to do is listening to 500 Susan stories. For God's sake.
Maybe okay. If I'm in a coma, can you press play on those playlists for me?
May I say that? So where have you come to in the end? Is it the end of Susan's run?
What do you mean?
Well, where you sort of got to so far?
We shall see. We shall see in season 4, won't we? If Susan sticks around or not. Is Carol Ann Ford going to do a 4th year? We shall see.
I know there's a few companion chronicles you ain't mentioned, though. I mean, so a few more.
I will. I mean, as I say, this is an occasional series, so it's not going to be all the time. These will be spaced out. I mean, you've all got plenty of listening
surely,
to do.
ladies and gentlemen.
So I need to work out the next ones, but I think doing season by season, we've got at least 10 years of William Hartnell now.
I'm hoping that some of our biggest hosts, Toymaker's Cat, Luke Malloy, you sort of people, who've in with the small collection, please take note of these and do the run, okay?
Everyone's going to start disagreeing now. Everyone's going to be like, actually, why have you done this? Why have you done this? Here we go.
This don't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, are you doing graphics for this?
Well, yeah.
Oh, how wonderful.
Well, yeah, let's see the comments, shall we? And just see if people agree.
And just, please, a little bit of it. He's put in a lot of hard work. He's listened to a lot of these.
Well, I
put these in order.
Okay, some of them I've listened to once quite quickly to get these notes, and some of them I know quite well. So, I mean, there could be things wrong, but I don't think so.
Do you like a list like this? Is this something you'd like to see as an occasional feature?
Well, we're doing it anyway, so there's no point asking.
Whether you want it or not,
Whether you want it or not, it's happening.
Well, I mean, how exciting. We've ended on the Flames of Cadiz here.
What a cliffhanger for end of a season.
I wonder.
A 4-part historical set in Spain concludes the 3rd season of Doctor Who.
My God. And I've just looked ahead and I can see the Vault starting the next season. Oh, sorry.
The Flames of Cadiz will get the cover of the Radio Times for the season finale.
Well, I never thought I'd get so excited hearing all the stories being put in order, but here we are.
Well, there we are. So, we'll be back very soon for the next 3 seasons then, won't we?
The next 3? There's 3 more seasons of Susan.
Well, no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Don't, please. I was going to have a coronary.
I think she's got at least 1 more season.
Jesus Christ, please. It's only 1 more of her.
Anyway, okay. Well, don't forget then, everyone, to finish audio big.
No, finish in order.